Exactly 89 years ago, on January 24th, 1936. It was actually the same day I started this podcast last year, January 24th. Three witnesses claimed to have seen an odd orange light over Lake Aylmer, the one in Quebec rather than the one in the Northwest Territories, and it was about 10:30 p.m. Other events occurred at the same site on March 12 and 13, 1974, then June 23rd, 1976, and June 24th, 2006. This episode, the 49th, is the first in year two or season two, unofficial season two of Slaven Selection Show, and soon it will be my 50th episode. So this is a new tradition on my channel. The first episode of every unofficial season, which starts around January 24th, will focus on UAPs or UFOs, well, until I change my mind. Since it caught my interest first, it earns a prominent place on the calendar. And by the way, Apple released the Macintosh computer 40 years ago on this date in 1984. Still, I find it inadequate. I will always be a PC, Linux, open source, Windows, whatever guy. No Fufumango yoga equipment or Star Schmucks either. Alright, I'm off topic once more, but when it comes to UAPs or UFOs, I dare to say that 2024 was really unique. George Knapp, Jeremy Corbell, and Eric Von Daniken, I believe I witnessed everything. There were others, of course, like J. Allen Hynek, an astronomer who advised Project Blue Book, the U.S. Air Force's official UFO research. Hynek founded the Center for UFO Studies and played a significant role in the development of modern ufology at the time. Then, of course, Stanton Friedman, our Canadian guy. He's Canadian, born in New Brunswick, and he died in Toronto in 2019, which I did not know. And he was a nuclear physicist who thoroughly researched the Roswell incident and the MJ-12 documents. Friedman was instrumental in bringing a more rigorous scientific approach to UFO studies, and we are proud of him, as well as we are when it comes to Paul Theodore Hallier, who was a Canadian engineer, politician, writer, and commentator. He was also the longest-serving member of the Queen's Privy Council for Canada at the time of his death in 2011. Then, of course, there's Jacques Vallée, a 1939-born author and computer scientist, significantly advanced UFO studies in both France and the United States. Vallée was the proponent of the alien hypothesis as well as the interdimensional concept. In the 1950s and 1960s, Marine Corps officer Donald Kehoe led NICAP, or NICAP, the largest civilian UFO research agency in the United States. Kehoe's work brought substantial attention to the subject of UFOs. Also, Kevin D. Randall, born in 1949, is a renowned ufologist and one of the leading experts on the Roswell incident. Having authored numerous books on the topic, Randall remains a well-known figure in the UFO field. Also, journalist John Keel, he investigated the famous Mothman sightings and significantly advanced paranormal and ufology research. These specialists have shaped the field of ufology by their study, theories, and writings, affecting both public perception and scientific investigation into the UFO phenomenon. We moved past all of that, and this is what happened in 2024. So, top UAP stories in 2024, there were many, but I'm sure I won't exaggerate when I say that the last year was jam-packed with UAP-related discoveries and revelations. We all know the Weaponized podcast hosted by Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp has had a significant impact on the public's perception of UFOs since its premiere in January of 2023 and continuing into 2024. The program had a significant impact on the UFO debate in a number of ways, including the release of a military shot image of a metallic sphere passing over Mosul, Iraq in April 2016. I saw it and this was just, I don't know what to say, I was stunned. Like, it was like crazy. The release of classified material sparked public interest in and validity for UFO encounters. They also provided a stage for expert and witnesses both. A wide range of perspectives on UFO-related topics are offered by the podcast's numerous guests, who include celebrities, historians, spies, and whistleblowers. They investigated persistent phenomena, and by discussing subjects like odd aerial phenomena and enigmatic drone breaches into military airspace, the show has kept the public informed about current UFO-related events. Additionally, episodes that have tackled themes like the Department of Defense's lack of transparency and some government agencies' disdain for UFO claims have promoted public skepticism of official narratives. I was particularly interested in the podcast's analysis of underwater phenomena because it has increased awareness of unidentified submerged objects, or USOs, and expanded the discussion of UFOs beyond aerial encounters. By emphasizing the dangers and criticism that media outlets encounter when covering UFO issues and the challenges that UFO researchers confront, the show had raised awareness of the barriers to pursuing this line of study. In any event, the podcast was excellent, even though they no longer regularly distribute the content. Instead, they only do it when necessary. The year-end evaluations, like the one that was broadcasted on December 31st, 2024, which gave a thorough summary of UFO-related advancements and influenced the public's perception of the field's advancement, made late 2024 extremely fascinating. Aside from that, we might hear what happened at the year's most important event, UFO's Hearing Insights, and the final episode of 2024 Weaponized podcast included a summary of the year's events in UFO-related news, including analysis of the congressional hearing in November of 2024. The hosts and their guests discussed the AARO's, or All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, misinformation, and the Department of Defense perceived lack of transparency regarding UAP investigations. Several episodes also highlighted ongoing problems with unidentified drones that have been infiltrating military airspace in the United States and the United Kingdom. In an episode featuring Brazilian UFO investigator Tiago Tichetti, the historical Collares UFO incident, in which thousands of residents reported being physically assaulted by unidentified flying objects, were reviewed. So Tiago, a Brazilian author and UFO researcher, has spent more than 22 years researching UFOs. In addition to being an editor for UFO magazine, he is the national director of MUFON, or Mutual UFO Network in Brazil, and the international director of CBU, or Brazilian Center for Ufology. Additionally, he is a member of the Scientific Coalition for Ufology, SCU, and the International Commission for UFO Investigation, or CIFE, and the International Center for Extraterrestrial Research as well, ICER. His book, Arquivos UFO and UFO Context in Brazil, have a number of fascinating close encounter accounts that have never been published in English. So, the podcast, That Time UFO Attacked 2,000 Humans, had him as a guest as well. And I don't know if you know that, but on May 12, 2024, a major UFO incident happened in Magué, Rio de Janeiro. So residents capture footage of odd lights of various colors in the sky, including round objects and intense flashes on the horizon between 10:40 p.m. and 2 o'clock in the morning. So this incident received a lot of social media attention. I don't know how did I miss this, but there you go. I only recently researched it thoroughly. So, video purportedly depicting 10-foot-tall extraterrestrial creatures in Brazil surfaced in November of 2024, sparking significant discussions and intrigue around the globe. Even though the veracity of this clip has not been confirmed, it attracted a lot of attention from the UFO community. And on November 8th of 2024, the Brazil Connection, an episode of the television series Investigation Alien, was broadcast. In order to investigate fresh UFO sightings and investigate a possible connection to a UFO incident from the 1970s, investigators George Knapp and combat pilot Vernice Armour traveled to an island in Brazil. Tiago remained the leading figure in the study and debate of UFO phenomena in Brazil throughout 2024. He shared his knowledge about Brazilian UFO cases in a variety of media, including television shows and podcasts. So, with both past incidents and recent sightings attracting public and scientific attention, these incidents showed that Brazil remained a hotbed for UFO activity and investigation in 2024. So, let's go back to the United States. And Navy UFO incidents, George and Jeremy made the claim that previously secret military footage of these incidents had never been released to the public. Reports of transmedium objects UFO that can fly in both water and air were also covered in the episode. I don't know how you fly in the water, but that's a different story. One such encounter was recorded by underwater archaeologist Rory Kramer, and this occurrence was caught on camera as a UFO transitioned from flying into the ocean. And the conversation with aspiring ufologists who offered their opinions on current affairs and difficulties facing the field demonstrated the value of citizen journalists to the advancement of UFO study. All things considered, Weaponized has remained a forum for critical conversations on UFOs, emphasizing issues of openness, past occurrences, and current research into unexplained aerial phenomena as 2024 went on. Well, probably the most important event was, of course, congressional hearing. In November of 2024, the U.S. Congress convened a major hearing on unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UAPs, formerly known as UFOs, although everybody is still calling them UFOs. I don't know who's ever... I don't call them UAPs. That's just ridiculous. This was likely the biggest story of the year. The purpose of this hearing, Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena Exposing the Truth, was to allay public fears over UAPs and promote transparency. Which transparency? The following were important elements of the 2024 Congressional UFO hearing. Testimonies from experts, and during the public hearing, testimony was given by 4 experts. Concerns about transparency. Members of Congress talked about the lack of transparency in the intelligence community and the Department of Defense about UAPs, especially the secret spending on initiatives connected to UAPs. Then also there are implications for national security. Possible threats to national security posed by UAP contacts at American military facilities were discussed throughout the session. In addition, some witnesses made shocking statements regarding the presence of UAPs and purported alien technology on Earth. Then also there was I don't know how to put it, a bipartisan effort. Building on earlier attempts to enhance government transparency on UAPs, the hearing showed ongoing bipartisan interest in the subject. Public involvement was there as well because the hearing was streamed live. Anybody could see the proceedings and conversations. Retired U.S. Navy Rear Admiral Dr. Tim Gallaudet stressed the importance of openness, saying that withholding UAP material from Congress might lead to a constitutional crisis. Yeah, right. That is going to happen. Congress continued attempts to address public interest in UAPs and advocate for increased government accountability in researching and revealing information about these occurrences were reflected in the hearing. So, 4 major worldwide hotspots for UAP sightings have been identified by the Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or ARRO, which published a study in November of 2024. So the Gulf of Mexico, or today's Gulf of America, and the southeastern United States have witnessed a high volume of reports, most likely as a result of their close proximity to military training grounds and installations. West Coast and Pacific Northwest is the second. So UAP sightings have been regularly reported in the West Coast areas, possibly as a result of military operations and monitoring in the Pacific. And of course, there's Middle East, the third one. Sightings have been concentrated in this area, especially in areas of active conflict where military activities might be a factor in the rise of UAP reports. Next is, of course, Northeastern Asia, which includes the Korean Peninsula and Japan. And this region has become a hotspot as sightings there frequently correspond with historical nuclear-related locations like Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And according to the report, there is no evidence of extraterrestrial preference for the hotspots. Rather, they are the result of geographic collection bias brought on by their closeness to U.S. military forces. So, the rise in reports was linked to other significant developments in UAP research. The Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office received 757 new UAP reports between May 2023 and June 2024, a substantial rise over prior periods. And this increase is a result of continuous efforts to improve data collecting and destigmatizing reporting among military members. Additionally, results of the annual report, according to RO, most recent annual report, 21 cases were judged deserving of additional inquiry, even though many of the reported incidents were dismissed as unimportant items like balloons or drones. Well, the article did, however, restate that there isn't any concrete proof yet that these encounters are connected to extraterrestrial life or technology. Okay, so the UAP Disclosure Act, which was introduced in 2024 with the intention of establishing oversight and a public disclosure plan for UAP investigations over the following 7 years, is one example of the increased congressional discussion around the UAPs. Concerns regarding possible alien visits and the need for the Pentagon to be more transparent have also been brought up in recent sessions. And upcoming reports anticipated. Yes, ARO is anticipated to publish a follow-up report that will include new information and analysis on UAP investigations. This report will be included in an evaluation that has been required by law since 2021. Yes, throughout 2024, reports of UAP contacts at American military installations persisted in causing national security concerns. Michael Gold, a former NASA assistant administrator, promoted open scientific discussion on the topic and underlined that the significance of removing the stigma associated with talking about unexplained phenomena. So throughout the 2024, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, which was founded in July 2022, persisted in its endeavors to standardize data gathering and reporting on UAP events. At last, you might begin organizing your trip to the UFO festival. Building on the enthusiasm and interest created in 2024, the McNamins UFO Festival announced its 25th annual event for May 16 and 17, 2025. It's not all that serious, and that's the way it should be. There's a lot of fun when it comes to UFOs. Throughout 2024, reports of UAP contacts at American military installations persisted in causing national security concerns. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me see what else is there. Well, you know, the UFO festival in New Mexico at Roswell is probably a better known one, right? It's more well known than the McManam's UFO festival, but in Oregon, like in honor of the Trent encounter in 1950, when Evelyn and Paul Trent of McMinnville captured that what are regarded as the first pictures of a UFO in the United States. And the event began in 1999 at McMenamin's Hotel in Oregon. So the UFO Fest will happen on Friday and Saturday, May 16 and 17, as I have said, and the festival includes live music, panels of expert speakers, a pet alien costume contest. Yeah, you don't want to miss that one, and much, much more. So the annual UFO procession begins at 12 p.m. on Saturday, and the festival has featured speakers including Bigfoot hunters, crop circle specialists, investigators, authors, filmmakers, and specialists in removing alien implants. Wow, that is something. I have to put it on my business card. Specialist in removing alien implants. All right, let's go back home. Right, Canada. In the fall of 2022, the Office of the Chief Science Advisor launched the Sky Canada project, a government-led initiative to examine and improve the handling of unidentified aerial phenomena allegations in Canada. The OCCA released the first peek at the Sky Canada report, Canada's first formal inquiry into UFOs in decades. And the goal of this initiative is to enhance the country's handling and analysis of UAP sightings, not to prove or disprove the existence of extraterrestrial life. Several significant UFO-related incidents and reports emerged in Canada in 2024. UFO sightings while the northern lights are out, and an orb was spotted in the sky in Andrew, Alberta during a northern lights display in late October of 2024. Enigma Labs received almost 1,200 reports of UFO sightings in Canada during a few months, bringing the network's total number of Canadian UFO sightings to 14,000, like 14,500. Huh? So the capital of UFOs remained Ontario. Ontario continues to lead Canada in UFO sightings with almost 22,000 recorded interactions since 1974. With one sighting every 667 persons in 2024, Ontario has the highest UFO to human ratio of any province or territory. Speaking of UFO sightings, in 2024, Toronto, which had a population of 6.5 million, reported 6 UFO sightings to the National UFO Reporting Center. And these included a near-stationary white-changing object in September and a novel craft in July of last year. A number of UFO sightings have also been reported in the Greater Toronto Area, including an X-shaped object following an airplane near Pearson Airport in Mississauga. On October 10 and 9, craft in Delta Formation over Burlington on August 31. In September 2024, Canada released a photo of a UFO that was shot down by a U.S. fighter jet over Canadian airspace in February 2023. I think that was a Chinese balloon, spy balloon or something like that, if I remember right. I'm not sure. I have to double check. Anyways, there's still a lot to talk about when it comes to UAPs, even though February 2025 has only just begun. In January 2025, several noteworthy UFO and UAP-related events came to light. Underwater UFO claims. Then a Republican representative, Tim Burchett, a Presbyterian from Gibbs community in Knox County, where he was elected mayor in September of 2010, revealed in a recent interview that an unidentified admiral had claimed to have seen an unexplained object that was operating at hundreds of miles an hour underwater, making roughly the size of a football field. Well, that's big. So he emphasized the seriousness of these claims and suggested that the government might be concealing information on UAPs, but he also did not provide any evidence of extraterrestrial life. In addition, there have been several reports of UFO encounters in California, especially in the Fresno area. Video footage of enigmatic lights and objects moving quickly and hovering in the sky was taken by locals. The public is curious and concerned about these occurrences, and local authorities and detectives are investigating them. Some people conjecture that natural events or highly developed man-made technology could provide explanations. And the PBS documentary What Are UFOs is apparently really good. I haven't seen it yet. Academics and scientists, as well as former military pilots who had witnessed UAPs, were interviewed. By dispelling myths and looking at potential explanations for various events, the documentary aims to approach the subject from a scientific standpoint. The U.S. Congress has continued to take UAP claims seriously, and there has been discussions on the need for more research on unidentified aerial phenomena and transparency that comes with it. This suggests that people are becoming more aware of the possible consequences these events could have on national security. So everything is always about national security. I could continue, but I've already reached page 12, and need to concentrate on other sketch items. Anyways, anyone who claims that last year's UFO related news was uninteresting is either naive or purposefully spiteful for no apparent reason. In addition to Jeremy and George, I was riveted to my laptop watching YouTube due to a number of other things, such as the numerous old UFO videos I discovered on one incredibly well-curated list. Naturally, this was my 33rd viewing of Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I took some edibles, I have to admit it, a few of times due to discomfort issues, but I completely passed out since I thought there would be flashing lights outside my windows at any moment. Oh well, it's okay, because I just take gummies occasionally. I hope I will be back with more UFO news before February of 2026. So, until then, please look up and stay selective. Bye-bye.